Former WWE Tag Team Champions, the Hardy Boyz, reportedly have a meeting with WWE officials in Cleveland, Ohio. Of course, the site of tonight's SummerSlam Premium Live event. Was the photo of the private meeting between AEW President Tony Khan and Shane McMahon leaked on purpose this week? We'll let you know the details on that. Brand new WWE Tag Team Champions have been crowned as the Bloodlines Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga win their first gold in WWE. Speaking of the Bloodline, it will be Bloodline rules in the main event of SummerSlam tonight as Cody Rhodes defends the undisputed WWE Championship against Solo Sikoa. MJF has retained his AEW American Championship in CMLL. Tiffany Stratton, her brand new Money in the Bank briefcase has been unveiled last night. LA Knight steals Logan Paul's prime Hummer. John Cena versus Gunther. Could that be one of the matches planned for the upcoming John Cena retirement tour next year? Blair Davenport aligns herself with Alba Fire and Isla Dawn last night for a brand new female faction on the Blue brand. Could Ben Affleck be set to play Hulk Hogan in an upcoming movie about the WWE Hall of Famer? The Lucha brothers filed to trademark several terms and names, leading to more speculation about their future in AEW. Ricky Steamboat return to AEW has been confirmed for next week's edition of AEW Dynamite, being involved in the Jeff Jarrett-Bryan Danielson match, and Brian Keefe returns to action on AEW Rampage. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with meetings involving the Hardy Boyz and WWE in Cleveland, Ohio, the site of tonight's SummerSlam PLE. The Hardy Boyz, Jeff and Matt, prominently featuring in TNA Wrestling as of late, could possibly be eyeing a return to WWE following a meeting between the two parties on August 2nd. Saturday, WWE SummerSlam broadcast will be broadcast from Cleveland Brown Stadium, and according to PW Insider, the multi-time WWE Tag Team Champions met with officials early in the morning. It was also said that some content had been filmed to be rolled out for WWE's digital platforms, but at the time of recording, there were no specifics on the discussions being held. The Hardys are scheduled for this weekend's TNA Impact tapings in Tampa, Florida, and were signing at WrestleCon's destination Cleveland on Friday, hence why they were in town, not necessarily just for SummerSlam. Now, Fightful Select has since reported that the former TNA World Tag Team Champions were invited to film interviews and content while in town for WrestleCon, some for an active series and some for potential Hardy-specific presentations. Sources in WWE reportedly communicated that there wasn't much to read into, while sources outside of the company were said to believe they would be appearing at some stage or another. It was only recently that the pair, who only returned to TNA after their contracts with AEW expired earlier this year, had discussed the potential of making an appearance in WWE NXT through the working relationship between the promotions, particularly noting that the NXT Tag Team Championships were amongst those they had not won. Now, despite featuring prominently with TNA, the Hardys are currently free agents, so there could be a prolonged stay on the cards, particularly when it comes to signing a WWE contract. Now, another TNA crossover will be challenging for titles on next week's NXT Great American Bash, when Zachary Wentz teams with Wesley to challenge Axiom and Nathan Fraser. Wentz and Lee have reunited as MSK/The Rascals in recent weeks, with Trey Miguel also teaming with them through the interpromotional relationship. So what are your thoughts when it comes to this? Do you think we could see the Hardys return to WWE, or is it just going to be for things like Peacock documentaries? Let me know your thoughts about that one too. Now, this week, social media was set ablaze when it came to the leaked photo and reports of a meeting between AEW President and CEO Tony Khan and former WWE executive and superstar and son of Vince McMahon, Shane McMahon. Now, Shane McMahon and Tony Khan shook the wrestling world to its core on July 31st when it was revealed by Fightful Select and WrestleTalk that the two men had recently had a private meeting in Arlington, Texas, with the possibility of McMahon being brought into AEW being a lot more real than some may have first suspected. To go along with the report, a leaked photo of the two men talking was released online. However, some people aren't convinced that the leak was 100% genuine and that either McMahon, Khan, or both men wanted the picture out in public. Dave Meltzer offered his opinion on Wrestling Observer Radio that there is every chance that the leak was intentional. He said, quote, "Both wanted it out there," Meltzer said. "Why would they want it out there? Well, in the case of Tony Khan, I think he wanted something to intrigue people. Every wrestling show has gotten destroyed by the Olympics in the ratings, which we knew was going to happen, and Dynamite should be no different. So he was looking for something that would get people talking, and maybe Shane McMahon's going to be on Dynamite tonight, and hopefully that would make a difference, and they would do better in the ratings than they would have done otherwise. As for McMahon, Meltzer was a little more hesitant to answer, as he said people never know what he's going to do next. He noted that there is every chance that this is simply a leverage move to try and get back into WWE, while there is also a chance that he could be serious about joining AEW, either as a talent or a backstage presence. What are your thoughts? Do you think that the leak was a genuine one, or do you think it was put out there on purpose? Now, the WWE Tag Team Championships have changed hands on the SummerSlam Go Home episode of SmackDown. On the eve of SummerSlam, with the rumored return of Roman Reigns, the new Bloodline bookended the show. Solo Sikoa and Cody Rhodes traded words. Solo wanted the match contested under Bloodline rules, which we'll talk about in just a second. But in the main event of Friday SmackDown, DIY put their WWE Tag Team Championships on the line against the new Bloodlines Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga. The Samoan Werewolf and the Right-Hand Man won the title shot last week after winning a gauntlet match. Tonga's brother and Gorillas of Destiny partner was also ringside along with Sikoa. The champs came out of the gate hot and seemed to be on track to retain, even hitting the Shatter Machine on Tonga. Loa jumped up on the apron to create a diversion so Sikoa could hit Gargano, which allowed Tonga to hit a reverse DDT. Loa once again went to the apron, but Gargano was ready and hit him before nailing a Tope Suicida onto Tonga. After taking a reverse Hurricane Rana, Fatu hit Gargano with a Samoan drop and a moonsault for the victory. After the match, Sikoa stood over Gargano with the tag titles on each shoulder to send a message to Rhodes. While the titles are both Fatu and Tonga's first titles in WWE, of course Fatu is a former MLW World Heavyweight Champion, while Tama has had numerous runs with IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships, as well as the Never Openweight Championship during his time in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, I spoke about Bloodline rules, and a major stipulation has been added to the main event of SummerSlam. A major stipulation was added, same stipulation that was last seen during WrestleMania 40, and it's going to be returning tonight in Cleveland, Ohio. During Friday's episode of SmackDown, Solo Sikoa challenged undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes to a Bloodline rules match as the Bloodline surrounded the ring. Rhodes started off SmackDown by calling out Sikoa face to face. Rhodes called Sikoa a self-appointed tribal chief, but said he's the actual undisputed champion. He said if he loses to Sikoa at SummerSlam, and he doesn't intend to, he plans to pay back his friends that the Bloodline ran down, Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. Rhodes kept bringing up beating Roman Reigns in the stipulation. Sikoa said that when Rhodes beat Reigns, Reigns was a weak tribal chief. Sikoa said he's not weak, he's dangerous. Sikoa said he wants to make their main event match at SummerSlam a Bloodline rules match. With that, Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga came down the ramp, and Tonga Loa came from behind. Rhodes said it's not the smartest decision he ever made, but he accepted. Of course, the last time Rhodes competed in the stipulation was against Roman Reigns, who had Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in his corner, as well as Sikoa, with the rest of the new Bloodline having yet to debut. The stipulation was set up on the first night of WrestleMania 40, when Rhodes was pinned by The Rock. Now, MJF, he made his way to CMLL last night and retained his AEW America Championship. He completed his first defense in Arena, Mexico. On the August 2nd edition of CMLL's show, Vernez E-Spectacular, Maxwell Jacob Friedman made his first title defense of the AEW American Championship against the current CMLL World Middleweight Champion Templero. The match was not only his first title defense, but it was also MJF's debut match for CMLL. For his debut match, MJF was accompanied by Rocky Romero, while Templario was accompanied by Key Malito. After a heated match between the two competitors, the finish came when MJF hit the Panama Sunrise before connecting a sheer drop brainbuster on Templario for the victory. MJF attacked him and Key Malito after the match with his belt. With the victory, MJF will defend his title against Will Ospreay on the August 25th edition of AEW All In at Wembley Stadium. Before that match, though, MJF will face Kyle Fletcher on this week's edition of AEW Dynamite. Now, Tiffany Stratton, as many people expected, has a brand new Money in the Bank briefcase. As featured in a video recap package of the recent feud between Bayley and Nia Jax ahead of their Women's Championship match at SummerSlam, Bayley recently destroyed Tiffany Stratton's Money in the Bank briefcase. For a couple of weeks, Stratton has been carrying the same briefcase but taped up, but that changed last night. Nia Jax presented Stratton with a gift on last night's SmackDown, informing her that she's been such a great princess to Jax's Queen of the Ring that Jax has has replaced the old Money in the Bank briefcase with something more befitting of Tiffy time. Jax would go on to unveil a brand new iteration of the Money in the Bank briefcase that was 2 shades of pink, complete with a pink bandolier and rhinestone details. Jax did make sure that Stratton promised not to cash in if Jax defeats Bayley for the Women's Championship at SummerSlam this evening. However, Stratton's excitement was cut slightly short by the arrival of the last woman she threw off the ladder to win the briefcase at Money in the Bank, that being Chelsea Green. Green joined the scene along with Piper Niven as Green criticised Tiffany's redesign. However, Stratton chalked it up to jealousy and left the scene. Now, LA Knight, of course, he set a challenge for the United States Championship this evening, and before that, he did some Grand Theft Auto in the process. Now, on last night's SmackDown, it was supposed to be a homecoming celebration in Cleveland for Logan Paul, but his SummerSlam 2024 opponent had other ideas. While Paul delivered a heelish in-ring segment to his hometown of Cleveland, his party would be foiled by LA Knight. Paul attempted to unveil a big championship celebration banner, but upon its reveal, it appeared to have been defaced by a big "yeah" added to it by LA Knight. Knight would come out and express regret that he could see the banner was destroyed, and he also offered to make things right, telling Paul to hang out there. He was going to come out with another banner, and he was followed to the backstage area as he looked for the new banner and ended up bumping into Pretty Deadly. They didn't have a banner but attempted to share a song from the new Pretty Deadly the musical. Knight quickly declined and moved on. Continuing further, Knight spotted Paul's Prime branded truck and drove it away while the United States champion attempted and failed to stop him on foot. Of course, Logan Paul will put his United States Championship on the line against LA Knight tonight at SummerSlam in Cleveland. Now, could we see John Cena versus Gunther next year? Well, of course, at Money in the Bank, John Cena made a surprise appearance to announce he will be retiring in 2025. On the post-show press conference, Cena explained that his retirement tour will span from January to December of next year, with anywhere between 30 to 40 shows already planned. On August 2nd, WRKD Wrestling reported that John Cena vs. Gunther is one of the planned PLE matches for Cena's retirement tour in 2025. The report reads, quote, John Cena vs. Gunther is currently planned in as a marquee PLE match for Cena's retirement tour. Of course, Gunther is set to challenge Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship this Saturday, today, August 3rd, at SummerSlam. Now, we've seemingly got a brand new faction confirmed on SmackDown last night. In a rematch of sorts from Clash at the Castle, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn defended the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships against Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. At Clash on June 15, Fire and Dawn won the championship in a 3-way against then-champions Cargill and Belair and the team of Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler. Neither Cargill nor Belair were involved in the pin, so that was the explanation for them having a right to a rematch. Last night, it was 2-on-2 until backup arrived for Fire and Dawn. Popping up at near the end of the match, Blair Davenport appeared and took out Jade Cargill at ringside. Even though this meant Fire and Dawn were disqualified, championships can't change hands on a disqualification, so it was all a plan to make sure they kept their championship. The segment would end with Corey Graves calling for help for Cargill, who had been thrown over the commentary desk, and the trio of Fire, Dawn and Davenport standing united. Now, Davenport has been feuding with Naomi as of late, who has teamed with Belair and Cargill in the past, setting up a natural 3-on-3 scenario for the future. Now, this is certainly a bit of a wild story. Could Ben Affleck be set to play Hulk Hogan in an upcoming film? Well, a new report indicates Ben Affleck may be in line to play WWE Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan. Hogan revealed last year that his biopic with Netflix, slated to star Chris Hemsworth, had been delayed after a business glitch, and he had decided to move on. But PW Insider now reports that a screenplay based on Hogan's 2013 lawsuit with Gawker has been circulating in Hollywood, picking up considerable steam, and is expected to move forward in the coming days. The film, Killing Gawker, is currently tied to Matt Damon and Ben Affleck's production company, Artist Equity, with a prospective January 2025 launch. If and when the project moves forward, it's said that Affleck and Damon would likely play Hogan and the billionaire Peter Thiel respectively. And it's further reported that the screenplay was written by 2016 Academy Award winner Charles Randolph, based on the Ryan Holiday novel titled Conspiracy, Peter Thiel, Hulk Hogan, Gawker, and the Anatomy of Intrigue. Holiday's book detailed the lawsuit Hogan filed against Gawker for publishing an explicit video the WWE Hall of Famer wasn't aware was being filmed. Thiel, known for his role in investing in Facebook, Facebook and as CEO of PayPal, funded Hogan's suit behind closed doors in a plot to hurt Gorka for previously publishing negative stories about him. In 2016, the judge ruled in favor of Hogan, awarding more than $100 million in damages, with Gorka folding in the months following. Affleck and Damon will be looking to tag team together once again on a sports biopic, having portrayed Phil Knight and Sonny Vaccaro, respectively, in the film Air, chronicling Knight's process in signing Michael Jordan's unprecedented Air Jordan sneaker deal. Now, this is a bit of an update when it comes to the future of the Lucha brothers in AEW, and if Trademarks are anything to go by, they may be considering their options. First, Rey Fenix has filed 3 trademarks. On August 1st, Rey Fenix filed to trademark King Fuego, Rey Fuego, and Fuego. All trademarks were filed for entertainment services. Of course, Fenix is currently signed to AEW, where he regularly teams with Penta El Zero Miedo as one half of the Lucha brothers, but also Penta has filed to some trademarks too. On August 1st, Penta El Zero Miedo filed to trademark Zero Miedo, and Animo, with the I replaced with a 1. All trademarks were filed for entertainment services. Of course, this comes on the back of reporting that both their contracts with AEW are set to expire this year, with them having considerable interest from WWE. Now, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, he's on his way back to AEW. During the August 2nd episode of AEW Rampage, AEW announced that Ricky the Dragon Steamboat would be the special guest for the first-time match between Bryan Danielson and Jeff Jarrett on the August 7th episode of AEW Dynamite. Steamboat has made multiple appearances on AEW programming dating back to 2022. He was the special guest timekeeper for Danielson's match against Daniel Garcia on the August 17th, 2022 episode of AEW Dynamite. Steamboat returned to AEW in 2023. He was the guest enforcer for the Real World Championship match between Ricky Starks and CM Punk on the August 5th episode of AEW Collision. Steamboat appeared again on the September 2nd episode and revealed Danielson as Starks' opponent for AEW All Out. Steamboat recently returned to AEW at Revolution 2024, where he was the guest timekeeper for Sting's last match. And finally, Brian Keith is back in-ring competition. Brian Keith had been out of action since the May 22nd episode of AEW Dynamite, where he lost to Hook in a 3-way match that included Katsuyori Shibata. Keith then aligned with Chris Jericho and continued to appear on AEW programming, but he was sidelined due to an injury. Keith returned to the ring on the August 2nd episode of AEW Rampage. There, he scored a dominant victory against Jackson Drake. Keith overpowered Drake throughout the short match. Big Bill interfered, and Keith ultimately scored the victory with the Diamond Dust. Backstage, Katsuyori Shibata sent a message to Chris Jericho and Brian Keith. He discussed his upcoming match against Keith and noted that both Hook and Samoa Joe wanted revenge on the Learning Tree. Shibata also said that he would get payback by injuring Keith. The match was then confirmed for the August 6th episode of AEW Dynamite. But there you go, guys. Latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click on the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.